Hello and welcome to our quick tutorial here. We're just going to have a look at doing some simple corner pinning. So I'm going to load up a piece of video, and the piece of video I'm going to use is of a phone. It is not an ideal piece of video, and we'll see why in a minute, but it will work for us today. So this is my piece of video here. Now I have three dots in this example here. One is for this window, one is for that window, and then off to the right here I have a second computer monitor, so I can go full screen on the other monitor, which is very handy. So here is my initial piece of video, and I'm going to add in a tool. I'm going to add in a tracker, so this node here. Now I'm going to link the two of these. I'm just going to draw a line and then drop it in the middle, and it'll link the two of them. And then I'm going to take the tracker and put it in my second window, and we'll go fit. Now by default the tracker has one tracking position here, so if I put my mouse over the top left hand corner of the tracker I can move it, and I'm going to place it there. Now why is this not a good object to track? Well, the way it's lit gives us a really black surface, so I'm going to have to actually track to the very corners and not the actual screen itself, otherwise they'll slip. So I have my one tracker in place, so I'm going to hit add, and it's given me a second tracker, so I'm going to put that here, and then I'm going to add a third one. Just trying to find a point that's high contrast, and then a fifth one. Oops. Now, when you're tracking, you can tell it how to track down here. So it says select tracker detail. So I can decide I want to track in luminance, so in black and white, or on the green channel, or on the red channel, or on the blue channel. So I'm going to pick luminance, which is this kind of black and white representation here, because these are areas of contrast, so from darkness to brightness. Now before I hit track, I have a few little things to do. First of all, my video is 124 frames long, so I'm going to set my render to be 124 frames. So now I've got a whoops, I didn't do that. 124, 1, 2, 4, and then enter. So now my timeline is the same length as the video. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to operation, and at the moment it says nothing, so I'm going to click on corner position. Now I've got a little issue here that I've got two triangles, so I'm going to move this over here for a second, and you can see that I've got I just need to reverse the position of these two trackers in order to get sort of a rectangle that I'm going to track. Now once I've done that, I'm going to go back to my my tracker tab here, and I am going to select track forward. So I'm going to click this now, track forward. And we'll get a decent track off this. It won't be perfect, as the kind of perspective slips. We'll probably get slippage up in this corner here a little bit. You can see we've got a little bit of slippage down here, so far from perfect. I've got a good bit of slippage there in that corner. As it kind of turns back around, this will kind of fix itself a little bit, I think. Yeah, so I find it easier to do it from this angle. So I'm not going to fix this in the video. We'll have a look at this in class, and have a look at how you fix when that's slipping. So here's my render complete. So it took 50 seconds. That's okay. And now what we want to do is we want to put in another loader. So I want to add in a loader, and what I want to add in is this piece of video here, and I can put in any piece piece of video I wanted. So I put that in here. There's my piece of video, and it's added this merge that I don't want. So I have the merge selected. I'm just going to hit the delete key. I'm going to take this piece of video and I'm going to connect it into the tracker. And it has appeared here. So, which is excellent. So I've got the video on the phone as I wanted it. Just to have a look here at the tracker, and I'm just going to right click here and go show tile picture. If I put the mouse over here, you'll see that this says foreground, which is the image that's going on top, and this one here will say tracker input. So this is the video that's inputting into the tracker. This is for a mask down here if I wanted to cut out a section of this rectangle that I've tracked, and then this is for output, so tracker output, and we'll be outputting that into a saver node in a minute. So here I am with my corner position, and just to point out, it says foreground over background. So this is my foreground, and it's going to go on top of my background. And then I've got this rotate clockwise. So my video, I can, it's a widescreen piece of video, so I can turn it around to get it facing the right direction, so it'll fit in like a piece of widescreen video into my track. So I can scrub forward and see the video as it sits on top of my phone. Like I said, it slips a little bit, but we'll fix that in class. And now I'm just going to show you how to export it. So we're going to right click, add tool, IO saver. And just to point out that up here I've got LD and then SV, and they're kind of the two shortcut buttons for load and save. We'll call this, what will we call it? We'll call it 4-pin corner. We should probably call it corner pin. But anyway, we'll leave it at that, and we'll hit save. And now, at the moment, it's going to save onto my desktop, which is fine, but it's going to be a series of target files, so I'm going to end up with 124 still images, which I do not want. So I'm going to change that to be a QuickTime movie, and then I just want to pick my format, my encoding format, which is H.264. So I'm just going to connect the output of this to the input of my saver. Okay, so to render my output, I'm going to click on my render button here, and it's going to output my video file, so QuickTime movie. So I'm going to hit render. So I get this window here, so we don't need to change any of these settings, we just need to hit start render. Okay, so it's giving me a warning saying it did not complete the render. I'm going to hit OK, and the reason for that is very simply this. Let's go back to my browse window here. So I want to output it as a .mov, but I haven't actually put in the file extension, so it doesn't know what to render it as. So I'm putting in .mov. I'll hit save. Do I want to replace this file? Yeah, we'll replace that file. And now up here it says 4-pin corner.mov, and now I can hit render, and again hit start render. So it's a fairly quick process. You can see it rendering out. You can see the slip there as it rotates a bit. So render is complete, and just let me minimize this for a second, and this is the result. So this is the original piece of video. Not very inspiring. And then this is, whoops, this is, we'll open this with VLC. VLC. that's the finished one. So far from perfect. So starts off okay, and then you can see there's a slip down here, and then it sort of recovers towards the end. Okay, so this is the basic sort of tools that you need, and these are the basic nodes that you're going to use to complete the task. And like I said, in class we'll have a look at how to tidy that up. Okay, so that's enough for now.